very thankful for them for organizing this session here. We have excellent speakers here who share their thoughts and some of the initiatives that their organizations have been taking on that. Just to set a few things in just context and in perspective, I'll just run through some few slides, 4 or 5 slides to really see why it is important. So can I have the next slide, please? Why hydrogen actually? We all must really see that for source of energy, then hydrogen is a solution. It is a solution, the ultimate solution for us. The high energy efficiency, it is lighter in weight, high thermal efficiency. If you see, if you use it through the fuel cells there, it is renewable. It helps in decarbonization immediately. So you get immediate benefits of the decarbonization, reduction of the emissions. If you use hydrogen in different ways, particularly as fuel cells and all, then your costs, operation costs, speed to really make it available at affordable prices is much better actually compared to other things. Certain important things, unique things about hydrogen is that you can use it at very low sub-zero temperatures as well, where its efficiency is as good as normal temperature, where the other resources run into difficulty on this thing. When you use hydrogen in place in the vehicles, the noise levels are much lower than the usual fossil fuels. So it's a practical and perhaps natural to look for hydrogen as a thing. So if you see the demand is growing pretty fast. You see what sectors that they are looking at is power, the heavy duty vehicles, steel area, methanol production, ammonia production, refineries. They are all major consumers of hydrogen. Also, if you see, when you talk about hydrogen, there are of course various challenges, production challenges, storage challenges, transportation challenges, even consumption challenges. So the more suitable approach to really produce and use is to use hydrogen in clusters, where you produce there and within a given boundary you also consume there. So that's the general approach. The world is following on. There are two important things when it comes to hydrogen production. Present day costs are high, and we are talking about green hydrogen. Although you must know that hydrogen is being used and produced for decades, so it's not a new thing. But the processes that have been followed are different. When we talk about green hydrogen, the conditions are that you must use green power to produce that, and therefore it becomes very important that the two things that are required, and normal approach is to electrolyze the water, split it into its components of hydrogen and oxygen. You have two major components, cost components there. One is the power. So if you use solar power, then it's a green hydrogen, and we are happy that the solar power pricing has come down over the period, maybe last 8 years, 10 years of time on that, to an affordable price level. And I think in our country, maybe we still have perhaps opportunity to have even cheaper solar powers there. It's competing really now with coal-based power generation. So that's one thing. But do you have that power available 24/7 at your cluster? That's the challenge there. Number two is that critical item is the electrolyzer. And the electrolyzers are very specific. There are companies in the world who make their proprietary electrolyzers. The technology is not available as such. There are of course several other processes that are now being used. If you see the main three processes that are followed generally is the alkaline electrolysis, the proton membrane electrolysis, and the solid oxide electrolysis. There are two technologies that I'll share with you which are gaining importance in there. So if you see from that point of view, the conditions that require, like temperatures that are required, is again a function of energy, how much energy you give that. So you need to be conscious of that. But one thing is sure, that some of the projections that are there and several studies are being done, and if you see there are too much of data there on that, but just see LCOH is the levelized cost of hydrogen. If you have power at maybe 60 euros a megawatt, or if you can put it down by your efforts to 40 euros a megawatt, the prices come quite comparable, much lower than what we are expecting right now. So I think it's important that we look at these parameters which impact directly production of hydrogen, cost of the production of hydrogen, and I'm sure one of our speakers would touch upon on the issues that are important. And when we talk about levelized cost of hydrogen, it is not just the capex, it is the opex, and opex for the life cycle, including the operation maintenance part of your equipment and all. So that cost must be taken into account when you really compare different processes that are used now for production of hydrogen. So I think I'll leave it there, and so far it is going on. But there are two new technologies that I came across in the US, and I'm sure that by this time what they call it E0. It is pronounced as E0 technology by a company called Utility there. And they say that you do electrolysis without electricity. So it's a unique technology where they pass the either water, moisture, or you can use even the waste gases, to produce hydrogen. Very unique. They had a prototype, two prototypes were operating for several months. And I think first commercial unit of 1 ton a day kind of this thing was expected to come anytime now in UK. So this is one thing which is important, and I think I'm sure the companies would be interested, and we like them to pursue this new technology, electrolysis without electricity, which is a major cost. That's what point I was making earlier. Electricity is a major cost besides the electrolyzers there. And this process is versatile in the sense that you can really split water. At the same time, you can use the waste gases of any industry to produce hydrogen there. The other this thing is that you can use ammonia, carry hydrogen as ammonia, and then store ammonia. And ammonia has been used by the industry for decades. So they're very comfortable about production of ammonia, storage, transportation, everything. So the entire value chain is known. So you can decompose ammonia and produce hydrogen where you require. So that's, I think, another new technology there. And this particular project is actually happening in UK, and we are happy that an Indian company is associated with that. So this is another thing which is of commercial applications. So I think we are not really talking about R&D, which are many areas of hydrogen are still being sort of well understood, and many things have to be done. But there are some commercial applications as such, and one of this is this. So I thought it would be good to share about that. Just to share, I mean, there are many challenges, and I'll focus only on the generation part of this thing. Before this, I'd like to make a mention that when it comes to hydrogen production, there are processes now beyond electrolysis also. Like photosynthesis is biological processes has become very important and now being pursued very actively for production of hydrogen. And if the results are to be believed that are coming up now, this may be a much cheaper way of really producing hydrogen.
So coming to the challenges, I think we all know that there are several challenges when it comes to using hydrogen, but I think focus comes again on the electrolysis, and electrolysis means electrolyzers first. The high cost, energy intensity of the processes, I think these two aspects, if we can tackle and address, I think many of the major problems of the hydrogen production can be solved, I think. So in that context, what all is happening in the electrolyzers, new electrolyzers are coming. And if you see the last table which I showed here, the combination, the first row, if you see, nickel, rubidium, iridium, or platinum, titanium, iridium, copper, nickel, these are the specific elements which are major components for the electrolyzers. So I am sure that some of the Indian companies are also working on that to develop their own proprietary electrolyzers. So this is very important, and that's why I thought we must set this thing that the focus of the world is also how do you cut down the costs of production of hydrogen. And two major components are the electrolyzers and the power consumption, power cost. Besides that, of course, the economy of scale is very important for hydrogen. And there is some data on this. And I must say that this data is actually of 23, 24. And the projections are that all these levelized cost of hydrogen would be in the range of $1.5 to $2. This is expected by 2030, 35, this range, where the amount of research being done and major semi-commercial stages that the projects have reached gives us the confidence that maybe in coming time the technologies would be available where the hydrogen cost would be much better, very competitive on that. So with that context here, I would like to move on and invite our first speaker, Mr. Rakesh Singh. You are Harsh. There are, of course, changes from the company. The people are coming. So Harsh, he is from KBR, a well-known company. We know KBR for their polymers and plastics licensing and that. But then this is a new area. We'll be happy to listen to you, and please share your thoughts and what initiatives KBR is taking on that here. Yeah.